Welcome to Mod of the Week. Now this week we're going over heat shielding for your exhaust header. Now this is something that actually people will want to hear about who have the FMF Megabomb. One thing that really deters people from purchasing the FMF Megabomb is the fact that FMF doesn't make a heat shield for it. One thing that deters people is the thought of burning their legs. I mean, you don't want to be sitting on a bike for a very long time and then have the potential of melting your pants or really injuring yourself. If your bike's running correctly, it shouldn't get over about 800 degrees, maybe 600. But they can potentially get up to about 1500 degrees, and that, is instant third-degree burns on any exposed skin. It's a bit unfortunate that FMF does not make a heat shield for this particular header. So a lot of people will go with the power bomb, opting out of the slight increase in power that you would get from a Megabomb over a power bomb. Here I have the original header and Megabomb. And I've actually taken off the heat shield from the original header and put it on the Megabomb. This isn't a very hard thing to do, and you don't have to necessarily use the heat shield that is from your bike. I know that DRC makes a heat shield that would work pretty well. There's probably other companies, just so long as the heat shield is long and sort of open like this, it'll work out pretty well. I don't think that you can actually do this with the one that FMF makes, just because it's a very regular shape and it doesn't cover the area that well. The way that I got the inspiration for doing this particular mod was a CRF 250L. The way that they attach their heat shield is they use these brackets which are attached to hose clamps, as you can see here. So just your simple worm gear hose clamp wrapped around here with this bracket with a threading for a bolt put into it. Pretty simple stuff. It's actually kind of hard to find, so the only place that I know of that makes it Flat Land Racing. I'll put a link to that in my description. So I noticed that when I looked at this, the place that I wanted a heat shield was fairly straight overall, which makes it easy to put a heat shield on. Having a similar shape to the OEM one, I really like the look of this OEM heat shield. I just took it off and placed it where I thought that I would want to shield. There was a bit of shaping necessary for this, because this center was spaced a bit far away from the header. To fix that, the fortunate thing about these being so open and just being essentially a pressed piece of metal, you can pretty easily take a rubber hammer and just put on it a bit until it bends into shape. I wouldn't go too far with it, but it didn't have to do very much bending to get it to where I wanted it. And then I put on these clamps. One thing to know about these clamps, the kit does come with 3 of these mounting brackets and 3 of these very small clamps right here, which only extend out to 60 millimeters. So I had to find one that would extend out to 80 millimeters. They should be on here fairly loose at first. Not completely tight, but just loose enough that you can move them around for when you're doing your positioning. One other thing that I did do after I pounded this was I also took a pair of channel locks and just bent out this end to try to make it wrap around this bomb better, because it's fairly tight at this end and making contact. You don't want that. So after that, place this on here, move your clamps to where they, at least the front and the rear one, to where they should be. Tighten in your bolts. The center clamp doesn't line up very well, so you want both ends first, just to get those lined up. Slide it and position it, and you can move it back and forth and move it up and down to where you like it. I've positioned it to try to make it look as though it belongs there, lining up with this FMF symbol here. Tighten down these two, your wrench, so that then it is actually taut. Don't go too far with it because you don't want to dent your pipe, because you'll get a bit of a loss of performance there. Then you go for the center one, take that and just tighten it up. Okay, so that's the mod of the week. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want more of these things, be sure to subscribe.